I'd like to talk about Virginia's scoring troubles. Damn. I mean, it took a heck of an effort. You know, I don't want to mispronounce his name, but that's one of the best shooting performances I've seen. You know, they did a real simple action, and it's just tough to guard when a guy gets that hot, you know, and we put multiple defenders on him. And, you know, there are other players. Kihei stepped up when we helped and tried to, you know, sort of double him as he came off the screen. But, you know, they kept answering time after time. But I give our guys a lot of credit. You know, you get up as many points as we did, and then to see that lead evaporate, and Virginia's done it so many times before. I'm sure that was in the back of our guys' minds, but you know, our resiliency was what was needed, and you're going to have to do that when you play against Virginia, who, in my opinion, is just getting better and better and better. I mean, it's the look of an NCAA tournament team. It's not even close. Very fortunate.
I know the streak against Virginia, since you weren't here for a lot of it, probably maybe doesn't mean as much to you, but did any of your players talk about it right now afterwards in the locker room?
No, we don't talk about that stuff. We just sort of talk about what we have to do to beat the team that's in front of us. I'm sure they have similar streaks to a lot of teams. I mean, when you win 35 games every year for the last 4 or 5 years, not too many teams are beating you. So, you know, that's what happens when you win a national championship, or you win in the conference how many years in a row. I mean, you're going to beat a lot of teams, and so you know, they've had to turn over their roster, their culture, and their style of play, and their identity has not changed. They're continuing to get better. It was a hard-fought victory for our team.
Yeah, you mentioned the resiliency you guys showed at the end of the game. When shots aren't falling like that, you know, are you just telling guys, well, look, then we've got to get to the line, we've got to figure out a way to win this in a different way? I
mean, the biggest thing that you have to try to find out as a coach is how to create really good shots. You know, they're such a smart team, and you know, they don't need a timeout to adjust to an action or a play or a particular player. So you have to try to figure out a way as a coach to continually try to get the best looks for your guys as much as possible. You know, they're not going to gamble. You know, if you're trying to tilt the floor and get the ball to the other side so your guy has space to operate, they're smart and they sit in the lane. They know exactly, they can sense what you're trying to do. When you're trying to use a ball screen to free up your guard, they attack it. When, okay, now we're going to slip it, they sniff it out and they don't attack it. They're just really, really smart, and they're disciplined, and they're tough, and they do it every possession for the entire game. If you'd have told me to score 80 points, I mean, at halftime, we scored 44 points, and all you keep hearing is like, hey, if you can get to 60 against Virginia, you can win. And I'm saying, we score 16 points in the second half, we're going to lose. And, you know, I just give our guys credit for sort of staying with it. And I don't think there's one way to beat Virginia. You just have to survive their identity.
One thing that stands out is the free throws. How were you able to get to the foul line so much?
Well, we got to 4 or 5 team fouls on them in the first 3 or 4 minutes of the second half. And, you know, we hammer that across to our guys. Continue to attack, drive the ball, offensive rebound, figure out ways to create contact. Because then their physicality, whether they're holding you on a cut, whether they're bumping a roll on a ball screen, whether they're trying to cut off a drive, it has to become a little less aggressive. Because there's a penalty of going to the line. Being able to draw 4 or 5 team fouls in that first 4-minute war, I think, really set the tone.
Seems like a game where both
Boston College did the same thing at their place in the first half. Diakite was on the bench. It completely changed the game. So it's easier said than done. You know, say we'll just get them in foul trouble. And they're really good defensively, and they're very disciplined. So we were fortunate, and we created a contact in a lot of those situations.
Steve and Malik seemed like both of them had big moments, especially late. Just what was their impact?
Huge. Steve sits on the bench for a little while, comes in the game, and just absolutely goes to work on the low block when we needed some baskets around the basket. It is so hard. They lead the league in block shots. They're so big. They don't foul. You saw in the first half, both Malik and Steve get their jump hook blocked. I mean, that hasn't happened all year. And they adjusted. And I thought, Malik's effort on the offensive glass was huge for our team. But then being the anchor that Steven was really helped our team sort of stabilize there deep in the second half.
Two-part question. Just how much have you watched this team grow, just the way they've been able to get out some wins? And then the other part, did you hit another shimmy dance walking off the court?
I'll answer the first part. I think our team, we have older guys. And we have guys that want to go out the right way. But you have to earn that. Dwayne and Ryan and Steve, Fresh, who wasn't here, but, he had a tough couple of years, loses his coach. I think those guys are all about each other. And, we've got a deep bench. You look at our bench production versus UVA's or a lot of the teams that we've played, guys are generally pulling for one another. Darius gets off to a great start. He's the first guy on the bench cheering for David Johnson as he goes down the lane and gets fouled. And you don't always get that. So I'm not going to answer the second part.
There's a lot of discussion coming into this game about recent turnovers. Play one of the best defensive teams in the country and only 6 a day. What's that tell about the response of your squad?
Well, in fairness, they're not a high turn-you-over team. Unless you're just being very loose and casual with the ball, you're not going to turn the ball over most of the time. Diakite can be very handsy and bat some balls away, especially when he's ball screen defensing. But for the most part, they're very, very content to play very good positional defense and make you take a challenge shot and not gamble, because that leads to fouling, and that's not what UVA generally does. But hey, be that as it may, we still have to take care of the ball. We weren't casual with it. We worked deeper in the shot clock at times, and to keep our turnovers to where they were was something that needed to be done in order to win the game.
Got off to such a hot start, obviously, with the three-pointers, and you shot well three-pointers all year. Did you anticipate this team being this good outside shooting team when you come in?
I've said it all year. I think Ryan and Jordan are elite level shooters, and I also think a guy like Darius, when he doesn't have maybe the pressure of running the point at times, he's a really good three-point shooter. And I think the other guys sort of get a little confidence from watching their teammates shoot the ball, and we can shoot it.
Chris, they come all the way back and take a lead. What did you see from your kids in that moment? Because it seemed like they had another gear.
They do this a lot in games. They talk amongst each other in timeouts and huddles. I generally meet with my coaching staff and talk about strategy, adjustments, offense, defensively, what do they see, and then I'll take a main message or two back to the team. But those guys are a lot more vocal than most of the teams I've coached. They're smart. They see things. They have enough humility to take it from a teammate, and they believe in how we play. They believe in our system, and I also have a lot of trust in those guys. I ask them, do you want to go zone? Do we want to stay man? And that wouldn't be the case in certain years, but it is now. Because again, I got older guys that have been through it, and they recognize what's happening on the floor. They have a belief in one another. They're all in, and it's bottom line. It's their team. They're going to be remembered. Hopefully, Kenny lets me stay for a few more years, and I'll coach many more teams. But that's Dwayne Sutton's one and only chance to go out as a senior. Ryan, Steve, all those guys down the line.
Coach, it looked like you were surprised about the technical foul. What happened in that sequence, and could you explain what happened there?
Yeah, I can't get into the officiating. I thought it was a bad call. It's a tie game, but he's the official, so he's right in that situation. But sometimes my wife is right in arguments, and I still think she's wrong. So I'll just leave it. One more.
Chris, what?
Damn, like Seinfeld, I'm supposed to go out on a high note.
We can redo it. What did you see when you put David in there in the last 5 minutes? He run in, and what did you see? And then obviously he made those plays of getting to the bucket.
David's our best playmaker, He just is. He's got great size. He can see who's helping in on ball screens. Felt like defensively, although he's a freshman, maybe give us a little bit more length, out there. And so that was really it. We played Fresh along with him because I think Fresh is probably our best perimeter defender, but he's a little bit smaller at times. So that was sort of the thinking behind it. I'll be honest with you. Anybody in the crowd could have picked out who's going to guard the kid. He's going to score. I mean, we got to be better at off-the-ball screening action. It's very, very simple, but the kid was reading it, like Ray Allen did in NBA Finals, and just was banging the shots in. And so went zone a couple times. I felt like they got good looks out of that. And so it's basketball. Sometimes those things happen, but fortunately we made enough plays on the other end to win the game.